I almost hit send.
Think we're back?
Are we live again?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, things went doo-doom. Shit. What?
Yeah, we're back. Okay. Internet just went down.
Went down
Yeah,
hard.
sorry, guys. I don't know what happened with that.
Phishing developers attacked us and hacked us. I'm sorry.
Eric was...
I thought it was a very good game.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, we got over 40 games, according to my count, in that
40?
in
Wow.
between those
I
two
know
presentations.
it was listed there was going to be 30 games, like plus 30 games plus.
Yeah.
Is what there was going to be. So I'm like, well, that's cool.
Well, yeah, so some of the stuff I've written down is like Call of Duty Season 4, which I guess is not really a game.
Well, that wasn't mentioned during... Okay, you mean the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Okay. I would say the devs thing was 30 games plus, they said, in just that. I thought.
I definitely wrote all those down, and we did not get 30. I don't think. Although, I guess in that one presentation there towards the end, they showed a bunch of games, like...
Sure, yeah, I get you.
Several of those games we had seen in 19, like the cat game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of really cool indie game stuff. Like, I'm excited for Axiom Verge 2. I think that Toem of Photo Adventures seems really interesting. Like, Pokemon Snap is fun, but I want to play a photo game where you have a lot more control over to where you go, instead of just being on rails or something like that. That's what got me excited about Swears a Good Life, and I think that Toem, a photo adventure, looks very interesting as well.
Okay. Yeah, no, I really like the what was it called? Loot River.
Loot River. Yep.
I like that one a lot. I think that one was one of my favorites that they showed. Just the concept of that, as well as Death's Door with the bird.
Yeah.
Like both of those are similar
Yeah.
in style, but I think they were both pretty cool in what they had and what they offered as far as like gameplay mechanics and stuff like that too. One of those games were like, I feel like anyone could play, but if you wanted to get good at it, you could get really good at both of those.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The Death's Door looked a lot harder than the other one.
I
Not
don't
sure.
know. The idea of like almost puzzle solving while having to fight stuff and whatnot
they
and
both look
respond
pretty hard.
quickly, you know, like that seems like very quick reflex kind of things to do there too. But I liked in the bird one where you could like roll away really far, but then you could use that hook shot to get back in there really quick too. And you had,
Yeah.
of course, you had your sword, but you also had bows and arrows and stuff too. And it just looked like you had like a nice
You could
arsenal of
reflect
weapons.
projectiles and stuff like that.
I mean, the genre is usually very punishing. So, I'm surprised how much I was interested in Phantom Abyss, which is that multiplayer dungeon
That was
run
pretty
game.
cool.
Yeah, no, that one was really cool. I like the idea of that. Now, when they described it, what was the multiplayer aspect of that?
So you can see the ghosts, and as soon as someone gets the treasure, the vault's locked.
Yeah.
So I think if you're in your run, you might still be able to finish it, or like that big giant guy shows up for your game. Maybe is
Yeah.
what happens. But it seems like once someone gets it, you can never get into that
No,
vault
yeah,
again.
and if you die, it seals, and you can't go back in there either. So you get
And
one
can't-
shot at it.
You can't replay it.
So like it exists until someone beats it.
So it's not like a multiplayer game per se, but you're against other people online trying to get these same treasures and stuff. So like it's not a game where we could all be racing against each other. Possibly, I don't know.
Maybe it depends. Like, do they have a number of daily levels, or
I don't know. Like, could we
how
all
does it
pick
work?
like level 3 and we all play at the same time, and you know one of us dies, and then you're down to the last 3. It's kind of like Fall Guys, but a little different.
It is only one level exists, which I can't imagine that would be the case. Like, it's
No.
more likely that there's several instances.
Most likely, yeah. And you get to choose maybe easy, medium, hard kind of thing, and as they go,
It just
like,
has various like modules that
Yeah.
make it more difficult and stuff.
yeah, you could have that.
Could be a fun stream though, where even though we're not maybe doing in the same level, we're still trying to see who's the first one to
Yeah.
actually win
Well, the only one.
something.
Like I don't think you get a second, third, fourth. It's one person gets it or you don't. You know.
Well, like as far as the stream goes, if we're not all in the same instance, like who's the first one to be able to get one?
Oh, okay, gotcha. I see what you mean.
It would be like we were playing Fall Guys, but we weren't on a team before. You know, when it was like every man for himself.
Mm-hmm. No, I like that one. I also I started to mention a little bit before, but I was I guess pleasantly surprised with the Ash
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead game. Like I like Dead by Daylight. I think it's a fun game, but I like the idea of that same idea, but you can also combat and you're against each other in a little bit. It's a little bit Left 4 Dead mixed with Dead by
Yeah.
Daylight, I feel like,
Like Blood Garden.
Kind of, but even in that one you couldn't kill the other guy really, right? Like he still would keep coming. You could just like
Blood Harvest.
distract him and yeah.
Damn.
Death Garden, Blood Harvest, I think
yeah.
is what it's called. Like you could kind of fight back, but even still you couldn't. This one looks like you can like you're battling these entities and zombies and whatever else, and it seems a little different.
But it does seem like those infinitely spawn from the other player, from like that creature that they showed at the end.
Possibly, or they're scattered, and you're just playing the demon or
I
whatever.
thought that was just like a different kind of boss enemy.
I think that's what, because what they say that you can play as if you're a dick, and what they called that creature were the same thing.
Yeah, it
So
was
I think
a demon.
that's what you're playing as, and you're
Yeah.
spawning things until the other players can get all the Necromonicon and do whatever else the map goal is.
Okay.
What it seems like.
I don't know about the spawning, but I agree with everything else.
I took it to mean like that was one of the like the evil champions that you could play, as well as the evil Ash.
No, they
Champion.
showed a few shots of like that electricity one, and there was like that big zombie with like an axe or something like that, and I think that evil knight was another one. It looked like he was killing one of the main heroes
Yeah.
from the other side. So like that's like an evil champion on the bad guy. That's the Michael Myers or the
Oh yeah, that's what I'm
the
saying.
hillbilly or whatever that you can play as. But I don't think they summon stuff. It definitely seemed like an interesting 1v5 kind of dynamic though. That I like the idea of fighting back because most of those that we've played, Dead by Daylight, Friday the 13th, Death Garden, most of your fighting back aspects is like you stun them and you run. That's all you get. Like
Yeah.
you don't actually defeat anything really.
It's all
So,
based on
yeah.
stealth and trying to stay away as much as possible.
Yeah. So hopefully it's balanced pretty well because I feel like everyone would want to be Ash who has a chainsaw and a shotgun. Like that seems pretty good versus like the Knight who has maybe a sword or an axe and
Or like one of the other two that has like maybe a pistol or maybe a rifle or something like that.
Yeah,
And then they have to
so-
rely on like a hammer or an
you may be
axe or
able to
something.
get more weapons into the level and stuff too. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I'm definitely interested in seeing more on that. Anything else that stood out to anyone that they're particularly interested in, or
I mean, almost all of those Day of the Dev games stood out. Just interesting stuff with Vocabulantis with the stop motion.
Yeah. That was really cool.
It'd be great to see more games in that style. It's been done before, but it happens so rarely, I feel like.
I feel like it's a very difficult genre, like an art genre to get right and not just give everyone that plays it a headache.
sure.
Looked really cool though.
Stuff like The Wandering Village takes a genre that I'm not super interested in, but because of the constraints of it, it
Mhm.
makes me more interested.
Yeah.
The fact that it's not just sprawling and it's in a very confined area, it makes it much more, seemingly to me, like a puzzle game rather than a management sim.
Like
Mhm.
it might be like, well, I need a windmill, but where am I going to put it and what am I going to get rid of? Because maybe you have to balance out what your village needs, but also if you do this or that, it harms the beast or
Yeah.
it causes problems. Like I said about talking to it with the horn. Like sure, you can tell it to rest and maybe that helps you build time. But if he doesn't want to rest, he starts running and then you start destroying everything around
Makes
or
me
whatever.
think a little of Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri, which is a civilization style game, but the planet was like a living life form, and there were life forms on it that you had to interact with,
Sure.
and you could go in harmony with it, or you could go against it. But if you went against it, you also had to fight the planet as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Sounds like Guardians of the Galaxy too,
a little bit.
to a T.
D&D Dark Alliance looks something could be a fun stream for us.
I like that one too. I like the creation of like make your character and stuff, and like that chef battle looked really cool.
Mm-hmm.
He melted and then flipped everyone off when he died.
Yeah.
So I like that one.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun recently playing like the 2004 Gauntlet, and I played the original D&D Dark Alliance game. This one seems like it has more customization, which is good.
hmm So I think I definitely would be interested in playing. Like, there's some of these games I think would be fun to do group stream with. There's some fun or like 4-man co-op stuff. Like the D&D one I think would be cool.
Chivalry 2 could be fun.
Chivalry 2 I think would be a lot of fun. That one actually came out this week already, I think. So that one's already available. But yeah, there was also the dungeon like game. Dang, what was it called? You had like 4 different characters and stuff. It was an isometric kind of game. Rick
Endless
said about-
Dungeons?
Yeah, I think it was Endless Dungeons, I think.
Hmm.
So there was that one there that was interesting, and I like, there's a Steam game called Alien Swarm, and I like in
Yeah.
that one like you're 4 different players working together. You can get different like it's not specs necessarily, but you get different like loot kit things, and just like using what each other has and relying on each other. It's a lot of fun, and it's a very hard thing to try to do solo. So I like the idea
Yeah.
of like
It also reminds me of Helldivers, which is a very similar kind of thing.
Yeah, the PvE aspect and working together and co-oping is a lot of fun, and I like
Mhm.
that too. Because lots of games have PvP, but I feel like they move away and they do more PvP multiplayer, and not as much PvE like co-op kind of stuff. That's why I like games like Payday 3, which they mentioned.
Yeah.
Like Payday 2 was a lot of fun. I played that a lot.
I'm looking forward to 3.
Some of the guys that worked on that made GTFO. I like GTFO. That one's a
Mhm.
fun game too. Like, I'm excited to see like we didn't see anything really of Payday 3. I don't feel like we saw the
just
masks.
saw the masks.
The
About
guys in
it.
the masks and stuff. But I'd like to check that one out, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about streaming it, but Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart looks real good. Comes out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Would be awesome if we could check that out tomorrow, but I don't know if we'll have time.
We might be able to put some stuff in. Like I said, we're working on our schedule for E3. There's lots of things going on. There's some things that we definitely want to make sure we see. There's some things that we might not watch as much, like maybe the Verizon segment of E3.
Yeah.
But we may try to supplement in some demo sections and stuff, or some new games that are out, and be able to get some ideas of how they feel and what our thoughts are on those. Like Rift Apart, maybe Chivalry 2, some different games and stuff that we can hopefully get some hands on and let you guys know what we think of those. And hopefully there's more that they announce as we actually get into E3 here on Saturday.
Yeah, even that like unbeatable rhythm game has a demo that just came out.
Was it Unbeatable or was it a Musical Story?
Unbeatable
Unbeatable.
demo out now.
I think
I
a
have in
Musical
my notes.
Story had one as well.
Musical Story had a Steam demo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some cool things I'm interested in that we may be moving in and out of seeing what's going to be happening and reacting and discussing games and what we've seen in trailers and whatnot, but then also trying to get some hands-on with some stuff.
Yep.
So it's going to be back and forth a little bit, but we'll definitely try to cover as much of it we can.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything else that stands out from what we've watched today?
Metal Slug Tactics, I thought looked pretty cool.
Sure.
That's a neat universe. I like those games, and it's a much different styling of those games.
Mhm.
So just be interesting to see how that works.
Gotcha. Eric, I know like you have a very specific genre of games that you usually play, but did anything stand out from what you saw?
I mean, a
in
lot
this?
stood out. I quite enjoyed a lot of the stuff I saw. I think that the more I watch like other people play on Twitch too, the more I get excited by a game that I know that someone that's really good at that's gonna be fun to watch. So that kind of Loot River game looks like it's gonna be fun, both to play and to watch others. Same thing with the procedural dungeon one too. Looks pretty cool.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a few things they had that had kind of procedural dungeons. Even that Loot River is supposed to be procedural, I think, right? Like each one is a little different as it goes on, but then the bosses are still the same, I think.
Yeah, although the other one with the bird, I think that one, Death's Door, they said that it's not that.
It's just a story-based kind of
Yeah, that looked pretty
story
cool,
you're
too.
going through and whatnot. So I did like that one. Calvin, what about you?
No, I was interested in the speed running one. I can't
With
remember
the whip,
Yeah, with the whip.
the Abyss,
Yeah, the Shadow Abyss or whatever.
Phantom Abyss, I
Phantom
think
Abyss.
that it was, right?
Yeah. I was interested in that one. Not really my style of game. But Death's Door looked really cool.
Okay.
Like I would probably mess around with it for a little bit. Seemed like Eric said, like a really fun game to try and get good at. It's just a struggle of getting there.
No, sure.
Excited to see more of the Streets of Tarkov development.
Yeah,
Probably
sure.
not going to be out for a while.
That's one you
unfortunately,
actually
but
play
Yeah,
already.
yeah. Escape from Tarkov. I've put so many hours into.
All right. Well, if you guys don't have anything else here, we're going to be having some pre-show stuff that we'll do. I'm not sure about tomorrow. I know they said about some different things that are popping up tomorrow. We'll have to try to get more information on that and figure out what we're going to do. But we're definitely going to be back Saturday when E3 actually starts.
Yep.
And we'll basically be having a stream every day of E3, covering like everything that's going on. So
Make
we'll
sure
be
you
covering.
follow, so you always get notified whenever we come on.
Yeah. Follow here on
Indeed.
Twitch to get that. Twitter, we should be notifying there. Usually, we also put up a YouTube video to let people know when things are going on. So, those are all different things that will be announced on to let people know that we're doing this. We may be grabbing a few things. I know there was like the Cuphead stuff and whatnot. I don't think we're planning on streaming the Netflix Geeked week, but we may be covering like trailers and stuff that have popped up from that, which I know there was one or two from today. There's at least Cuphead tomorrow and whatnot, so should see a few of those popping up on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But at the very least, we should be back at least Saturday around 2:30, because that's going to be getting ready for the Ubisoft show. So, all right, you guys have anything else?
No, sir.
No. Thanks everyone for the bits and donations.
Yeah, we'll try to cover as many as we can when things are going on, but especially these coming streams are going to have several hours of us streaming going forward, and there's going to be probably a lot of things that we'll be going back on trying to like look up, so might be a little taxing. But we may try to sneak in questions at different points too, so coming forward on E3, we may try to look through the questions that we have down in the bottom left and answer questions revolving around games and E3 and whatnot, especially since there's going to be a lot of stuff. And I know that all of us are thinking of like, well, what really connected with me, but it might not relate to like, oh, well, I wanted to know what they thought of this game, and we didn't think about it right away. So, all right, guys. Well, we'll be back this weekend. Keep tune into our like YouTube and Twitter and follow us here, and that way you don't miss out on
follow
when
us
we're
here
going
and
live.
Set that notification bell. Be coming fast.
Yes, excited for a lot of announcements.
And yes.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Have a good night, everybody.